Hi, I'm Dave. Welcome to day 25 of the Red Letter Challenge. Let me read it for you. I hate being sick. It is awful. As a parent of two young boys, it seems like someone is sick almost every other week in our house. As parents, the worst is when you are both sick and your little kids are actually healthy. There are not many things harder in this world than being really sick and having to care and look after two boys who are wound up and ready to have some fun. A lot of people have done a lot of great things for me in my life, but when someone does something for me while I'm sick, it feels even more special. One of the greatest things anyone has ever done for me and my wife was when our friend came and took our two boys to the mall for the afternoon when we were both sick. Other people have taken our boys for an afternoon before, but this particular time was so incredible because we were so sick. It's hard to be sick. When you are sick, it feels good to be taken care of and to receive encouragement from others. Many times throughout the Bible, Jesus tells us how important it is to care for those who are sick or underprivileged. One of the ways hurting and sick people know you care about them is when you take time out of your day to show them you are thinking of them. You can do many things to care for someone who is sick. Visit, provide a meal, give encouragement, give a gift, or pray. Today's devotion is very simple. Not to neglect or forget the sick, but to care for them. When I'm healthy, it's easy for me to forget others may not be. Others could be in pain, hurting, and in need of healing and encouragement. We have to be there for people at all times. There's a story in the Bible about a man who was paralyzed. The man had 4 friends, and these 4 friends carried him on a mat all the way to see Jesus. When they got to the house where Jesus was, they saw the whole house was full of people. Rather than give up, they took their friend all the way to the top of the roof and lowered him through a hole so he could see Jesus. When Jesus saw the faith of the friends, he forgave the paralyzed man and then he healed him. I've always thought it was amazing that it wasn't the faith of the paralyzed man that made him better. It was the faith of his friends. Listen, I don't know how or why God heals some and not others. It seems like he heals some who have faith and others who have no faith. But here's what I do know. The friend of the paralyzed man had faith in Jesus, and their friend was rewarded because of their faith. This means that God honors your faith and your commitment to those in need. I'm not saying God will always do something miraculous when you help someone in need, but he can, and he has in the past. Who do you know who is sick? Who do you know who needs encouragement? Being sick is not what we were meant for. We are looking forward to a time when Jesus promises us no more sickness, disease, death, or even tears. Jesus promises that all who follow him will experience this sort of life. But until then, we have a responsibility to serve and take care of those who are sick. In this story, we see 4 friends take care of their friend who is sick. What an incredible example of how to care for someone who is in need. And then look at verse 5 below, at how Jesus responds not to the faith of the paralyzed man, but instead the faith of the friends. Mark chapter 2, verses 1 through 12. A few days later, when Jesus again entered Capernaum, the people heard that he had come home. They gathered in such large numbers that there was no room left, not even outside the door, and he preached the word to them. Some men came, bringing to him paralyzed man, carried by 4 of them. Since they could not get him to Jesus because of the crowd, they made an opening in the roof above Jesus by digging through it and then lowered the mat the man was lying on. When Jesus saw their faith, he said to the paralyzed man, "Son, your sins are forgiven." Now, some teachers of law were sitting there thinking to themselves, "Why does this fellow talk like that? He's blaspheming. Who can forgive sins but God alone?" Immediately Jesus knew in his spirit that this was what they were thinking in their hearts. And he said to them, "Why are you thinking these things? Which is easier, to say to this paralyzed man, 'Your sins are forgiven,' or to say, 'Get up and take your mat and walk'? But I want you to know that the Son of Man has authority on earth to forgive sins." So he said to the man, "I tell you, get up, take your mat, and go home." He got up, took his mat, and walked out in full view of them all. This amazed everyone, and they praised God, saying, "We have never seen anything like this." That was day 25 for the Red Letter Challenge.